Hi, volleyball fans, and welcome back to Volley Talk, the podcast created for volleyball lovers who want to dig deep into what is going on in NCAA and international volleyball. I'm your host, Sarah Pavin. I'm an Olympian, beach volleyball world champion, former Nebraska Cornhusker, and longtime pro, both indoor and on the beach.
And I'm Adam Schultz, former indoor player, international volleyball coach, and the show's resident stat guy.
I'm Paul Pavin, former player, former high school coach and university coach, current club president and club coach, and first-time grandpa this week.
Woo!
That's also Sarah's
Spoiler
dad.
alert. Spoiler alert. Our daughter was born just over a week ago. So, yeah, we kind of talked about it last week that this could potentially, or last episode, that this could potentially happen. We've had a lot of volleyball on.
Correct.
But let me tell you, I have not been able to focus on it. So we had to bring in reinforcements in my dad.
We're hoping for some Paul Pavin hot takes this episode, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so you can count on them from me. You could probably also count on them from him.
I think they're genetic.
I'm going to be moderating the discussion for the most part, but I can't help myself, so I'm probably going to have to jump in and say something because you guys know that that's what I do. So that is the state of affairs this week, but it was a big week for both international and NCAA volleyball fans because Women's World Championships have been happening, and it was the start of the NCAA preseason. So as we know, pool play and early playoffs at Worlds are usually pretty straightforward, but we are heading into crunch time and the playoffs for real this week. And then on the NCAA side, there has been some exciting volleyball being played already.
Great
Very
2
good
weeks.
matchups. So we have no shortage of things to talk about this week. So let's get started. We don't have many weekly highlights this week. I mean, obviously, our daughter being born is the highlight, for our lives. But in a volleyball sense, men's U21 Worlds wrapped up this week. Iran won with Italy taking silver, USA took bronze. So semifinals were pretty decisive. Iran beat US 3 straight. Italy beat the Czech Republic 3 straight. In the bronze medal match, USA beat Czech Republic 3 straight. We are just sweeping the board here. And then
Efficient.
And then in the gold medal match, Iran beat Italy in 4. To be honest, I didn't know what to expect here. I don't know if I would have had Iran on my radar.
I mean, they have a pro league. Their men's team has been doing better. I'm not surprised that there's a groundswell. I can't say I was expecting it, but then when you say the results, I'm like, okay, that can track. I get that. So good for them.
And Italy continues their dominance across the board in youth and senior play this summer.
Always in the medals.
Always. In every single category.
Yeah.
U19, U21, men's, women's. It's been a good summer for the Italian Volleyball Federation. So congrats to Iran on taking home gold there. But that was all we had for the highlights. So let's get into the good stuff here. Women's World Championships have been going on in Thailand.
So we're filming this on Sunday night, so there's still a couple round of 16s to happen. Things have been, I would say, proceeding more or less as expected. I think we saw the general round of 16 matchups that we were expecting. I would say for Pool A, I wasn't necessarily expecting Thailand to come out. I thought maybe Sweden would come out of that one.
Really? I thought Thailand would come out. I just didn't know who would come second. But Netherlands, they look pretty good.
The Netherlands, I thought, had a really good tournament. I thought Sweden, just given the fact that they had Hawk, might be able to.
Watching Sweden play, they cannot get her the ball.
Well, yeah. And again, in fairness, I hadn't seen Sweden play, so I thought that there was the potential for that, but they just technically weren't able to do what they needed to do.
Of course, Italy, Belgium came out, Brazil, France came out, US, Slovenia. That pool
was the
messed
question
me
mark.
up.
Yeah. I thought...
So U.S. Pool D, U.S., Slovenia, Argentina, Czech Republic. I figured USA would come out on top.
Agreed.
I honestly thought Czech would come out, but they finished last.
They had such a good VNL that I thought they were going to carry over their play into Worlds, but that just didn't happen. And Slovenia actually had a really good tournament. I thought they played really good matches.
Pool E, Turkey, A, Canada.
Yeah. What are your
I'm
thoughts?
honestly shocked that Bulgaria came last. I thought maybe they could beat Canada.
Given the fact, I'm not even going to put a qualifier on it. They played well.
Their outsides were actually hitting balls instead of bailing out and tipping, which we saw during VNL. They were being much more aggressive.
Guidetti is having an impact on the mentality of those players, and you could see that in Worlds. So I think that they have to be happy with how pool play went.
I think Canada, without Van Rijk or Alexa Gray playing, was a plus for them in that these young players are getting a lot of confidence right now, and they're really starting to believe in themselves, which is really what we haven't seen from these other players in a long, long time.
They needed to step up because in VNL, you can tell that they have been taking a back seat to Gray and Van Rijk. So finally being able to develop and have to find solutions on their own, I think we're starting to see it come together.
And I thought Guzin and Thokboom continued to improve, so that was really good to see.
In the remaining pools, China, Dominican came out as we expected, Poland and Germany, and then Japan and Serbia rounded things out. So we have had a few elimination matches in the round of 16. Let's start with Netherlands, Serbia. Adam had... If you go back to last episode, Adam had Serbia, Japan having a rematch in the quarters, but Netherlands beat Serbia in 5.
And they earned that victory. I thought they played really well. They were fearless. They were playing to score points. They did not look inexperienced or let the moment take over for them. That was a good match.
But Boskovic didn't play.
What?
Yeah, if Boskovic doesn't play and you lose by 2 points and 2 points in your first two sets, two of the matches, you know that she's going to make a difference.
Yeah, but you can only beat who's in front of you.
Granted.
Let's roll it back to VNL when Boskovic wasn't playing and they were bageled. Like literally did not win a match when Boskovic wasn't playing.
I mean, I think in fairness, the expectation should have been for Serbia to beat Netherlands without Boskovic. I mean,
Did they play each other? They were in the same location in week 1 of VNL. Did they play each other? I can't even remember.
I don't remember either.
They were both in Canada. But my question is, like, was she injured? Like, that's my only explanation for why she wouldn't be on the court. Like, you've got to be injured.
That's the only explanation.
She was there supporting her team. She was on the bench with everybody.
Yeah.
She just didn't play.
I thought Ujalak played well, who they also were missing in the first couple of weeks of VNL. That was bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Serbia?
It's been you say Italy's had a summer for the ages. Serbia has had one to forget. Hasn't been great
For men
across
and women.
the board.
For men and women.
Take your pick.
Right off the hop, Adam's quarterfinal predictions are ruined.
Yeah, but my semis could still be right because I had Japan going
Ruined.
through. So we'll see. We'll see.
In another round of 16 match, Japan beat Thailand 3 straight.
Not a surprise.
We saw that coming. We have seen Italy take down Germany 3 straight.
They continue to cruise.
I don't think that's unexpected.
Germany played some good matches in their pool play, but Italy's just too good.
Belgium pushed Poland to 5.
Shout out to Belgium. I watched quite a bit of that game. They played really, really well. I was very impressed, and I think that Poland squeaked one out. A little more experience, a little better in the middle. Belgium.
Okay, why was it so close? This is one of the matches that I was taking care of the baby.
Well, Belgium played really well. It's just that at the end in Game 5, I counted 3 out of system sets that were set into the block. That made a huge difference. Those things go the other way, and we might have Belgium coming out of that thing.
You guys know how I feel about out of system setting.
And running the middle.
And running the middle. 2 things I am very passionate about.
But I mean, I think Belgium has to be proud of that effort, right? You're in there, you're going to 5. I mean, Poland medaled in the VNL. All of their players are experienced. That's a stepping stone game for Belgium, I think, in terms of getting experience and building towards next year. They had to be happy with how they played.
Oh, they are today. At the time, you could see them at the end of the match. They were devastated by losing, and I think they knew they threw away some points they should have had.
Yeah.
And that hurts. But today, they're probably thinking, we did okay. Nobody expected this from us.
Last two. We do have two, at the time of this recording, we do have two round of 16 matches that still have to be played, which is USA versus Canada, Turkey versus Slovenia. But Adam's prediction for round of 16, wrong again with this match in France beating China in 4. I would have been wrong with that too.
No, I did not see that coming.
I remember in the last episode I said France-China could be a pretty good match, but I think China's going to win.
France has been playing well lately. They've been doing a pretty good job. Surprise for sure.
China, they're young and inexperienced. I didn't watch this match, so I would be curious to see what actually happened, but they're more physical than France.
Cazot has been playing very well
Yeah.
all summer. Like, there's a reason Cazot is going to Vakif Bank.
I mean, yes, but if you match up position to position, I think China generally comes out ahead.
Even, like, you guys know how I feel about the Chinese left sides. I love them. I think they're so good. But, like, lining up with Cazot,
Yeah.
do I think it's a wash? I don't know. I don't know if I would go that far, but they're not. France has surprised me this year.
Yeah, and you got to play the games, and yeah.
And Ndiaye had a huge match,
Yeah.
statistically.
I mean, good for France. You think they beat Brazil?
No. Well, did they? They pushed Brazil
They
in
did.
BNL.
They did.
I don't think they'll beat Brazil. I wouldn't bet the house on that or the farm, but I don't think they'll beat Brazil. I'll be shocked if that happens.
So I think my semis are still going to ring true.
So you still think USA over Canada, Turkey over Slovenia?
Correct.
I agree. If that does hold true, our quarterfinals are Netherlands versus Japan.
I take Japan.
I take Japan.
Likewise.
We would have, hypothetically, USA versus Turkey.
I'm taking Turkey.
I'm going to go USA.
What? Why? I'm just kidding.
I've watched them play some since the VNL, and they are playing better than they were. They're physical enough that they can cause problems. Their block is big enough to cause problems, and I think they serve very aggressively also. I'm starting to like what I'm seeing right now. I'm not saying they're going to beat Italy. I'm not saying they could beat Brazil, but in fairness to them, they don't have to play either of those till the final.
You just endeared yourself to all of our listeners. Just an FYI.
Well,
all of the Americans out here who've been so frustrated with us, they're like, thank you so much.
Well, I just liked what I've been seeing lately, and I think, if their passing can hold up, and that's the big thing, if their passing can hold up, they will give everybody a problem.
Let's put
Anybody who passes well can give someone a problem.
Except Italy.
Nobody can touch Italy. You know how we feel about them. Let's put a pin in USA because there are some things that we can touch on here in just a minute. But to finish out the potential quarterfinals, which these ones are set, we've got Italy versus Poland.
Italy.
You guys know I
Italy.
have so much faith in Italy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're
I
just so
think that
consistent. They're so good.
And then Brazil, France.
I'm going to say Brazil in 5 in this one. France is on a high. They've got nothing to lose. Brazil, Ana Cristina is still injured.
Honestly, don't sleep on France, though.
Brazil in 5. I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
You know what? We're all sitting here, and we'd love to pick France, but none of us have the guts to do it. That's basically what it comes to. We just know that they can be pushed, but we don't want to say that, so we're not going to.
No, I just have so much faith. The players that I've played with and against, I guess I just have so much faith in them. I don't know.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, I can't turn my back on them.
I think Brazil's block is going to give France some trouble. They're blocking very
fair.
well right now.
Fair. Okay, so for semifinal 1, we're still holding strong to Italy versus Brazil. Semifinal 2, we are torn. We think Japan will be in it for sure, but we're torn on if it'll be Turkey or USA. And we have had a lot of back and forth with American fans and viewers over the last couple weeks. So just wanted to touch on a couple things. I've gotten a lot of comments about Morgan Hentz.
She's earned the spot.
She snatched that spot from Lexi Rodriguez real quick.
She's passing better. I think defensively she's been better than Lexi is. I think that's where the edge is for her. I still don't love her setting, but she's giving them chances defensively, which I think they need.
Do you think, because Lexi started in the first match and then they changed it. Do you think Lexi was doing anything particularly poorly? Do you think Morgan is playing that much better? Do you think her setting is improved?
I was watching this and I was wondering myself because I think Lexi Rodriguez is a better libero, quite frankly.
Based off what?
Well, I see Hens flopping around a lot. She's a flopper. Rodriguez is a reader, reads and moves. The other one is a reactionary type of libero or just flop, and I'll try to get it up. It's working, but I'm still thinking Rodriguez is the better of the two.
Well, you see that in beach too. You see in beach volleyball, people love the like flashy digs or the people like dive across the court. And then you have the people who just like read the game and make it look easy. But people love the ones who like dive and make it look crazy. But like if you really think about it, it's because they don't read the game as well. I understand what you're saying.
I think that Lexi will eventually win the job, but if you watch her playing defense, her reads are off because she hasn't calibrated to what these international players, the angles they can hit yet.
Well, my thing is she's played this all summer. You've been doing this since May. We're almost in September.
Has she been playing it all summer? Or has she been practicing all summer? Which is...
Well, that's the thing. Is like you're at the...
She played VNL.
Yeah, she played VNL weeks 2, 3, the final.
It takes time to get used to that level and the angles and everything else that these players are capable of doing. And until you have a steady diet of that, it's going to be difficult to just jump in. I think she's the better of the two. I think Hens is doing a great job in keeping the ball up. It's just two different styles of libero, and I prefer the Rodriguez style.
I think Hens gives them the best chance to win today in Worlds. I think Lexi will be the libero of their future if she can sort out her reads.
Has her setting gotten better? Because that was my biggest knock on Morgan Hens.
Not really. I still think she misses too many. Like for me, if you're a libero and you're setting, it needs to be hittable 95+% of the time. And I don't think she puts her hitters in great positions.
Well, I would say the same thing about the entire American team because the sets that I was able to watch this week, as a whole, their out-of-system setting was atrocious. The number of free balls they had to put over. Internationally, if you are digging the ball within the perimeter of the court, you need to be able to get a swing off of it. And the number of free balls I have seen from the American team on digs within the perimeter is insane.
I don't disagree with you.
Now, let me ask you a question, because I thought I heard you say 2 or 3 weeks ago, I can't remember right now, that you believed Wong Orantes was the best libero in the U.S.
Yeah.
Correct me. I don't know for sure. Did she retire or she just not even being given a chance anymore?
No, I think it was her choice to take the summer off. We are wondering if she's coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing with Lexi, too, is we should point out that she missed a whole pro season being on the bench behind Wong Orantes. True. She lost a season of competing, her first season out of college. Like, that hurts developmentally. We
have Chiaka Ugbagu, who came back. I think huge difference maker.
100%.
The offense coming out of the middle for the U.S. is much improved this tournament, I think.
Yes, it's getting there. I still think they need to run in front of the setter more.
Yeah. They keep sending Redke on the slide, too. And while it is looking better than it did in VNL, I still don't love her on the slide.
But I've seen Redke, because I watched her a lot in college, and I've seen her swing in front of the setter probably more this World Championship than I ever have in any other stretch.
That's where they need to have her hitting from, in my opinion.
In front of the setter.
In front
Absolutely.
of the setter.
And the thing is like she dominated in college running behind the setter, but it is, as we have said countless times, it is a completely different game.
Yeah.
Completely different caliber of athlete. So
her slide isn't fast enough internationally
it's not
to be able to
fast
score.
Enough. No, I agree.
Now, the other thing with the U.S. is that they run the pipe over top of the middle so much they don't necessarily always have to set it, but it still has to be a threat. And I think they need to get better at that.
Those are the couple pieces, couple tweaks to the U.S. system that we just wanted to touch on that we have gotten a lot of questions and comments about. But we will see how these last 2 round of 16 matches shake out. And yeah, it's go time. Quarterfinals start on September 3rd. So, we'll be tuning in. Hopefully I'll be tuning in. We know you guys will be tuning in. So yeah, we're excited to see how this all plays out. All right. While Worlds was kind of ramping up, it's kind of a slow burn in world championships as we get through pool play and then things get exciting. That was not the case with NCAA volleyball, okay? We started out with a bang with the AVCA First Serve tournament that we talked about last episode. And since then, there have been some
massive,
very good matches. There are obviously way too many great matches to talk about here. Why don't I ask you guys, what has been your favorite match or two that you have watched in the last couple weeks?
For me, today, Nebraska, Kentucky.
Oh, baby.
I was looking forward to the match, and to be honest with you, I expected Nebraska in 3, maybe 4, and then they lost the first 2. So I'm watching this thing thinking Goliath is going down, and because Kentucky was playing really, really well. But Nebraska, so deep. One thing doesn't work, another thing doesn't work. They'll figure it out because they have so many options that they can go to. At the end of the game, I think they just wore Kentucky down.
Kentucky, last week when we were going through the AVCA preseason rankings, Kentucky was one of the teams that I was like, I feel like they are going to be better than their ranking. And watching them play Nebraska, I stand by that. I think that they are very good. That was an interesting match to watch.
Losing the first 2 sets and coming back and winning in 5 is probably the best thing for Nebraska. I was afraid watching them play early that they were in such good form that they were going to roll through everybody and end up not really being pushed because they just looked cleaner than everybody else up until today. Showing that grit and coming together as a team and finding some leadership, being put in that position early in the season, I think puts them in a good place to have a really good run and to stay focused. Winning in that way was probably the best thing for them.
But I think if you watched it today, one thing stood out for me, and I don't know if anybody would agree with me, but it was all like deja vu to me today.
In what sense?
I'm watching Nebraska play, and it reminds me of Merritt Beeson when she started slumping at the end of the season where they're getting no production from the right side. I believe that the right side hitters on Nebraska today had 5 kills, and that's just not going to cut it. So the pressure now is on everybody else to score, and the biggest difference today that I found, they got away with it, was, and I was really impressed by Harper Murray. She showed me some stuff later on in the matches as it went on because I was very critical of her inability to hit high hands and get blocked, like I mean roofed badly. And then she started doing what international players do. She started hitting high hands, and that ended up with 23 kills. And she's actually, we were talking about this, she's probably out of the backcourt a better hitter. But she started doing it in the front court too. So kudos to her, but I still think they need consistent points from the other left side.
Landfair has never been it for me. I think you guys know that. I've never hidden that. But I did expect more from the right side. I am impressed with Rebecca Alex' improved offense.
Absolutely.
She's always been a good blocker, but they are ramping up her offensive game, which I think is amazing. A big difference I'm noticing in the Danny Busboom era versus the John Cook era is how many substitutions she's willing to make and how many changes she is willing to make in game. Coach Cook would stick with his lineup, and that was that. You are not coming off the court. We are not changing. We're not changing the lineup. And Danny is like, no, we're going to make wholesale changes here if we have to, and we're going to just find what sticks. So I think that that's a marked difference between the two.
The key for me was the libero switch after the second set.
Big move.
Choboy struggled to pass the ball in the first 2 sets, and they couldn't get their middles going. I say that relatively. Their middles are always a threat. I think they're very good. But as much as they need to or want them to be a threat all the time, Choboy was being picked on, going after seams. They weren't passing well. And that's, quite frankly, going to be the way you beat Nebraska. I think Nebraska's middles 1-2 are probably the best in the country, and probably by a large margin. If they can get the ball to those middles and then have the pipe on top of that, it's going to be hard to stop. You've got to get Nebraska hitting high balls. That's going to be the only way to beat them, in my opinion.
I still think you're going to have to find points from the right side. Traditionally in this game now, the right side is your point scorer. That's your point scorer.
So what do you do if you're Danny? Do you give this Italian kid a runway to figure it out? Are you playing the transfer? What's your strategy here?
I think that the youngster from Italy, a much better blocker of the two,
She's a very good blocker.
and gets up in the air higher. And I think the girl from Baylor, I can't remember her name,
Ali check.
if she's not scoring points, then Danny did what she had to do, took her out, put the Italian girl in, and she did a pretty good job, though she didn't score a lot of points.
I think that she has been interviewed saying that the speed of the sets is much faster than she's used to. I can understand the difficulty coming from the international style of play as a younger athlete, with her size, I can relate to the sense of it's very hard to find a setter who can set with tempo and get the ball high enough at the same time. I always struggled with that with a lot of setters. So I'm wondering if it's a case of that, because she does look to not be fully extending on her attacks. I would stick with Adriano because you have longer with her.
And a higher ceiling, I think.
And a higher ceiling. I think you need to stick it out with her, find a way to make it work, because I think her upside is a lot bigger and you can use her for longer.
Well, and you can win without her scoring points right now. You just beat Kentucky with your right side not really producing anything. You can give her time to figure it out so that she's really good come national championship time.
Now, on the Kentucky side, I have to admit, I think Craig did a really good job right now for this point in the year. Craig Skinner, that's the coach of Kentucky. And the only thing I think he probably realizes, because he's a good coach and a smart man, those two left sides today in a 5-game match took 135 swings. That's just not going to be enough.
It's not, and it's not sustainable for the attackers' bodies for game planning. Brooklyn DeLay and Eva Hudson are great left sides, I think, as a combo, outstanding, but you need to get some production from your other hitters, or at least use your other hitters.
They gotta have a middle presence. Yeah. And I know I say this about everybody, but it's got to happen. Okay, so I got to ask you right now, which outsides are you taking? Kentucky's outsides or Nebraska's outsides?
I'm taking Kentucky's outsides.
I was going to say Kentucky too. Oh my gosh.
I agree.
Okay, as a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
I just think as a combo, Kentucky's outsides are better than the Nebraska combo.
I think it's hard to argue. They're the best 1-2 punch in the country.
All right.
Do you agree?
I do.
Okay.
Just like the Nebraska middles are the best 1-2 punch in the country.
And Nebraska's running those middles. So it makes up for potential weaknesses on the outside, you know?
The biggest difference to me, because Harper Murray's skilled, she can pass the ball, she plays defense. It's the out-of-system hitting for me that puts the Kentucky outsides above the other two. You give Harper Murray the ball in system where the middle's a threat, she's going to score. She's a good volleyball player. You put a triple block on her and everybody knows where the ball's going, that's when the numbers drop a little bit. So I think that's where, in my opinion, the Kentucky left sides have the edge.
If Murray can continue to do what she did today toward the second half of that match, I'm going to tell you now, player of the year.
You think?
I think. If she can continue what happened today, player of the year.
But
heard it here first.
Landfair, in my mind, is a question mark.
I think Sigler or Pierce need to take her spot. I don't know what she's doing starting.
I'm not sure she finishes as a starter.
It's going to be a Krause situation from last season. We have our favorite match from the week. If you didn't watch the Nebraska-Kentucky match, check it out. But my next question is, what was the biggest surprise of the week for you?
I was surprised at how well Florida did. That was my surprise of the week. I thought they played good teams really well. I like their setter. I thought Stuckey did a really good job. She was playing really well before she got hurt.
Stuckey's good, man.
I like Florida. I think they're going to be my dark horse team this year. They were a pleasant surprise.
I'm not disagreeing that they were a big surprise, but a bigger surprise to me today was Arizona State University taking down Penn State in 4.
Ooh, baby.
They had a right side number 10 Glover who put up a massive block. She had 9 blocks today. I'm watching this young girl play, and she can hit the ball too. I was really impressed. I think their coach did a great job with the team. Can they sustain? I don't know, but they certainly did it today. They got a real superstar in that young girl.
No, I think she's going to be good as well. We were watching that match together. She's got a lot of pieces there.
What do the following teams need to do to win a national title? Let's start with Penn State.
Penn State needs to run a balanced offense. They got a shiny new toy in Kennedy Martin. Stark set her every ball.
I didn't think Kennedy Martin played particularly well in the against like Creighton. She didn't really do much.
I agree with you, but today I could see Kennedy Martin that people have been talking about as she's getting comfortable with maybe the best setter in the country.
Yeah,
She is.
She's definitely the best setter. I have nothing against Kennedy Martin. I think she's very good, but if you are only going to set her to a national championship, it's not going to work. You have to find a way to get other players to score points. Selman is going to need to find a way.
Selman has improved.
I was impressed. She's going to need
better.
But Juravicius, I'm not sure that she's a left side there. You've got Mendelson in the middle, but they didn't run her a ton. Like, I get it. You're trying to find your rhythm between Stark and Martin. They're going to need to balance their offense out if they want to be good all year long.
Well, I know Selman made a ton of mistakes, but seeing where she was last year and some of the things she is doing now, I think she is better. She needs to cut down her errors 100%.
I'm a Selman fan. I liked her at Ohio State. I think she's going to be very good, but that's what they need to do to win, in my opinion.
I think Schumacher panicked a bit today, actually, to be honest with you. I think she saw a game that was probably tougher than she thought it was going to be. And as they were going down, I'll give you a stat that probably forced her to do this. The 2 left sides for Penn State today, their efficiency was 3 of 58.
And just for people who aren't super familiar with volleyball stats, efficiency means you take the number of kills, you minus the total errors that you have, and then you put that over top of the number of attempts.
Yeah, that's
5%.
Bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
6% maybe.
Pretty bad.
So I think that she was probably telling Stark, get the ball to Martin.
I mean,
get the ball to Martin.
With reason, yeah.
They wanted to win the match. There's no way that Schumacher wanted to lose this match. And this is how she saw herself winning. Because if you looked at the end of the match, and I agree with you on Juravicius, she had opportunity at the end of that 4th game to put it away and keep her team alive. Didn't happen. She swung negative, by the way, in this match. I think the transition for her from right side to left side is going to be a problem unless they can figure this out.
It is not an easy transition to go from right side to left side, okay?
I hope they got a young kid or somebody coming off the bench because that experiment might not work all the way through.
Agreed.
Okay, what does Pitt need to do? Pitt is not looking good to me, you guys. I'm sorry. I said this last episode. Pitt was overrated in the initial rankings. I am not loving what I'm seeing at all.
Pitt needs to pass the ball.
Pitt has 2 good middles and Babcock.
Yeah, the only 3 players who came back.
Yes, they have 2 good middles and Babcock. And the way they're passing, they can't get the middles involved. So all of a sudden, same type of thing, as the game evolves and it's getting tight, everybody in the gym knows where that ball's going. It's going to Babcock. Everybody knows it. And I don't care how good you are. When you see a steady diet of double blocks on you all the time with no seam, nothing, it's wearing on you.
Life sucks.
Yeah.
Fine, it's not fun, but like that's part of the job of being a right side.
Absolutely, that's part of the
job. And I feel uniquely qualified to say that because I was that player.
And you played for Canada, who couldn't pass, so you hit a lot of out-of-system balls.
Like, I feel like I can say that because I lived it. It's part of it.
Let's put it in perspective, though. You lived it in both realms. You lived it as the right side for Canada that was the big-time scorer, but you also lived it at Nebraska with a good team around you that made life easier. And I don't think you would argue that playing for Nebraska and having people there that could play with you and did a great job made life easier for everybody.
Oh, it's great to play on a well-balanced team.
Yeah, and that's
amazing.
what Babcock probably experienced last year. A well-balanced team, people had to respect. And I feel bad for her, but unless they get something else in there and the passing improves, it's going to be tough.
I respect the fact that she stayed, though.
It might be good for her international career to have a little adversity.
There we
in
go.
college.
We've talked about how USA needs a right side who can swing at a system. Olivia Babcock is getting the training in.
I have a lot of respect for her for staying too. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I respect her a lot for sticking around when they've lost so many players. So Penn State needs to run a balanced offense. Pitt needs to learn to pass the ball. What does Texas need to do?
Get experience.
They are young.
I have two opinions of this. Neither are going to be popular.
Love this.
One is Swindle needs to do her job now that she's the starting setter. And I watched her set some balls in the last 2 weeks, and I thought, oh boy, it's going to be a long season in Texas. You ran the other setter out of town.
Yeah, you ran the other setter out of town, Texas fans. So let's see what happens.
You got one girl in there doing the job, and she better do it, and she better leave because you have some young players there. And the other one, Tori Stafford needs to be a star now. You were on a team with Babcock. You didn't have double blocks all the time. You know, life is easy when you got a good middle and a good right side and you're hitting balls from the best setter in the country. You left, you moved, you better be the star.
You know, I think with time, they will be very good.
I agree.
Will they be able to close the gap on Nebraska or something? I don't know right now, but I do agree with you. I need, you know, they're going to need 20 points from Tori Stafford in big matches.
Yeah. And those two things are going to need to happen. Their young players, I thought, looked pretty good.
I thought so,
and they're
too.
going to keep getting better. For them to have success, Swindle and Stafford are going to have to be really, really good and really, really consistent because there's going to be mistakes from those young players.
Okay, we're not touching on every single team and what they have to win, but our last one that we can touch on, it doesn't have to be long because we talked about them already, is Nebraska.
They got to be able to score out of system.
I think their right sides have to score points.
Also fair. So to sum it up, Penn State needs to run a balanced offense, figure out the errors on the left side. Pitt, let's pass the ball. Let's get some in-system play happening here. Texas needs to figure out their setting situation, get some experience for their young players. Tori Stafford really needs to step up. And Nebraska, left sides need to improve at their out-of-system hitting, and we need production from the right side.
Those are our way too early critiques.
I don't think Pitt is going to be in the discussion for national championship. That is like the earliest statement I could ever make.
I would say
Don't come at me for it.
I take Pitt out and put Kentucky in.
Fine, yeah. Kentucky, run somebody other than your left side.
Well, you know, watch Kentucky.
Their right side for me though is
Yeah, she's pretty small.
question mark. She's small. She gets up.
I thought she was the substitute setter for a second,
So
and
did I.
then she hit, and I was like, wait, what?
But I'm with those two left sides, if you can get something else going, they're going to be a handful for
Oh, yeah.
everyone.
Oh yeah.
All right, we have seen a lot of the top teams play, if not all. We have seen a lot of the big name transfers, the buzzy transfers play in a few matches now. So after the very start of the season, first few matches, who do you think was the biggest transfer pickup?
Well, only one.
Hold on. Let's modify this a little bit. Let's go. Who do you think is going to be the most important for their team?
Whoa, going to be, or who is currently the biggest pickup?
Currently, because it's. I mean, you could just argue like this is the best player no matter what. But who is going to make the biggest? Who made the biggest impact on their team?
I have two.
Okay.
Martin from Penn State has had to already start to carry a load, and there's no doubt Mimi Collier has to carry a load for Wisconsin. Though, if I may, my hat's off to Grace Egan. Is it?
Yeah.
I
From
thought
Ohio State.
she played really well today.
And I don't think they expected her to start on the right side because they had Grace Lopez come in from Miami, who I think they intended on playing on the right side. So Egan came in from Ohio State. Yes, Mimi Collier has to carry a heavy load, but she is not replacing Franklin. I'm sorry.
I never said she was placing Franklin, but they
They're
needed.
still losing out in that position.
But they needed somebody that could go up on the left side and score some points, and I thought she's doing a pretty decent job. I think Martin is the one that is going to make the biggest difference at the end of this thing.
I agree. Penn State needs somebody to score points for them, and it's going to be Martin. They are going to live and die with how she plays.
You guys know that I can't help myself and I can't be too positive. So I'm going to say I was most disappointed by Tori Stafford as a transfer with all the hype. And I loved her at Pitt. I loved her. I still think she's a great player. But she was the biggest disappointment for me in the transfer game with how much hype she had around her. She was getting blocked like crazy.
I agree with you, Sarah.
Was not a good start.
I agree. I really didn't pay much attention really to Stafford last year because
As a team, they were just so good.
yeah, that was a team, they were so good, but Babcock was there and I just was just mesmerized by how this girl played. And then I heard Stafford during the portal season. So when I watched Texas, I was expecting 22 kills, 20 kills.
Yeah.
Today was 9. Now, they handled Wisconsin with no problem.
They handled Wisconsin, but even who did they play? Was it Creighton or Texas or Kansas that they played? She could not hit past the block.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Well, and again, I don't think Swindle looked particularly good these last couple of weeks in terms of getting her hitters in system, getting them in good places. Like there's work to be done there. Stafford's a good player. They're going to figure it out, but
Swindle hasn't looked good for me since her freshman year.
that wouldn't have been my choice, but that's who they have now.
I think everybody listening has to understand we're going out on a limb after 2 weeks.
I know.
So
I
that's
mean,
the fun of it,
that's
though.
the fun of
Yes,
it. You need
it
to
is.
talk about it. You need to speculate. You need to, stir up some controversy. That's what we're here for.
I want to
you know
read
what I
those
mean?
comments.
Yeah.
We may have another opinion in November.
Yeah. In November, we'll be like, remember that episode at the end of August? Let's take it all back.
Sarah and I aren't sleeping right now anyway, so we're not going to remember any of this.
Exactly. All right. Our last NCAA women's question of the week. Who do you guys think are going to finish top, let's say, 2 or 3 in each of the Power 4 conferences? So who are your picks for top 3 in the Big Ten?
In the Big Ten, I think Nebraska is going to finish 1. I think they're just better than everybody else. Then I'm going to go with Penn State.
Even after their loss to Arizona State today?
Yeah,
Even after exposing their weaknesses?
Yeah, they're going to get better. They're going to figure it out. I'm an Izzy Stark fan. She's going to find her offense. Again, I'm not worried about that. 3, that's a tough one. Wisconsin did not look great to me.
We have UCLA who went in preseason 4.
No.
I was like, on principle, no.
No. UCLA is not going to be 3. Wisconsin.
We're sticking with the usual suspects and Adams.
Well, I didn't pick them in any order, but I went Nebraska, Penn State, Wisconsin too. I thought, unfortunately...
Nobody thinks UCLA is going to make a push with their transfers?
No.
Okay.
I thought, really, like, it's rather sad, but I thought if we were looking before portal, I would have looked at Purdue and Ohio State
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, my heart
They've
breaks
been
for Ohio
decimated.
State.
Oh, Purdue too.
That stinks for them.
Yeah, so those are my 3.
My concern with Wisconsin is, are they going to be able to find an identity this season? They've always been big and physical, and that's been Wisconsin volleyball, and they don't have that anymore. They have good players, they're skilled, but what are they going to gel around? What are they going to hold on to? I'm curious to see what they become as a team.
Well, what do you do when your entire roster leaves or graduates?
You go transfer diving.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you can't develop
did.
an identity.
Yeah.
You can't develop an identity losing like 10 athletes.
Yeah, that's why he gets paid the big bucks.
Yeah, but you have, programs
No,
have
I'm saying
identities.
you have to. He has to, but it's like hard when you have that level of turnover,
Yeah, but again, programs have identities outside of their players, right? Like
Fair,
Nebraska's super defensive. Texas is very physical. Penn State is gritty. Pitt has got that swagger. Wisconsin's always been big and physical, and they don't have those athletes anymore. So their whole culture and mentality is going to have to change. Furbringer likes to run more of a faster offense.
Well, it'll suit her because now she's got smaller players.
Yeah, but there's a shift that's going to have to happen with how they do things as a staff. I'm curious to see how they pull it off. They're talented. They're going to figure it out, but it'll be interesting to watch.
ACC?
Pitt, Louisville, Stanford, and no particular order.
Yeah, I think I have Pitt, Stanford, Louisville in that order. Is what
You
I
think
think.
Pitt's going to win it? I think, okay.
We critique them on a national championship stage of winning it all. They still have Babcock. They still have good middles. Like they're still going to be good. And in conference play, I just don't think like Stanford's super young. Louisville's lost their head coach and a couple other
Louisville
players.
at all this
I I think Pitt is still going to be the class of that division.
I didn't see Louisville either, but I figure that they've been very, very good for a number of years. They can't have dropped that far. Stanford, I understand why. They just absolutely got slaughtered by Nebraska.
They got slaughtered by Nebraska, but they beat Florida.
Yes.
And Ilya Rubin had a really good week.
Yeah, those are the three for me.
All right. Looks like we're all agreeing. What about the SEC?
Kentucky, Texas, Florida. Texas and Florida for me could flip-flop depending on how quickly Texas comes together.
Well, I picked three and then I put a fourth.
Vanderbilt? No, just kidding.
No, maybe I've got that conference wrong too. Texas, Kentucky, Florida, Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah. Don't sleep on Texas
I
A&M.
can't leave them out of this because I think they could be really, really good too.
Well, you guys are agreeing on everything. Okay. Big 12.
Arizona State, Kansas, and Utah.
Again, I've only seen one game from one, and I've seen Kansas a whole lot. Kansas, I'll put them in there as the top three. I don't think they can beat any of the top teams. There's just not enough there, but they can do well in their conference. And then ASU today really impressed me, but who knows if they can do that again. And BYU. So those are my three, though.
BYU. Okay. This is the one that there's a slight disagreement.
And again, we haven't seen Utah or BYU play anybody, so it's a little bit off last year and what happened in the portal, but we'll see what happens.
Playing it safe here, sticking with the usual suspects. It was the NCAA season's off to a great start.
It was so entertaining.
So entertaining, so many good matches to watch. If you missed any of the big ones, check them out. There is going to be a ton more happening this coming week. So that was just a little taste, what we want to see more of. But let us know your thoughts for sure as we head into this coming week. All right, it is time for listener questions. Our first question. So in an episode a long time ago, I talked about how Danny Busboom will be able to recruit anybody in the country now because she's at Nebraska. And I said, like, Nebraska is just one of those schools that, like, most players want to go to. This question came about from that. In what are some of the schools that are able to go after and recruit the top high schoolers in the country? The two that jump out to me right away are Nebraska, Texas.
Yes.
Like, those programs can get whoever they want, and it's not kind of eyebrow raising, you know?
I would say Stanford's up there, but their ability to accept students without a certain mark is limited.
Average.
But I think that school has a huge draw as well.
I think
Yeah.
Wisconsin is now in that category with them.
Interesting.
Penn State is in that category now.
I would say Penn State more than Wisconsin.
Yeah, I would
Okay,
say
that's fair.
So here's my other question to you. As a female sport for female athletes, does having a female head coach, do you think that adds to your ability to recruit?
I think this day and age, I think it is definitely a draw.
I tend to agree with you. And
I
that's
think
why
it's a draw when the name is Danny Busboom, what she's been able to build, and she's got a reputation.
But like the women like Danny and Schumacher Colley, those
Mary
two
Wise.
girls want to play for them.
Like you have to be a good coach. You have to be. What I'm saying is, all things equal, if you had the same resume and the same credentials and the same success, I think playing for a female coach probably is one thing that would tip the scales.
Unless you're Nebraska. I
mean,
think if you're Nebraska, doesn't matter female or male. It's just got that aura about it.
And that's like the essence of the question, I guess. It's just like,
You know how much they still will get out of that 93,000 fans? You don't think they play that video in front of those kids when they come in for a visit? Come on. That sells. Trust me.
so to sum it up, Nebraska, Texas, Penn State, Stanford, if you're a good student, are the schools who can kind of have their pick, I would say.
I would, as a caveat to that, I would say if any of the West Coast schools with the great weather get their programs to a top place, that then becomes a destination to go to for the lifestyle as well. But the programs aren't good enough right now.
Agree. That UCLA campus is one of the most beautiful in the country.
All right, question 2. With the COVID season giving players an extra year, is it really fair that certain players have broken records at their respective schools when others in the past will only get 4 seasons of stats?
Asterisk.
I
No.
think there needs to be an asterisk next to those because, like Dana Retke, for example, 5-time first-team All-American. Yeah, because you played 5 seasons.
Yeah,
It's like nobody else had that opportunity.
I don't think it's fair. No.
I don't think it's fair either.
So then when you played to 30, does that put an asterisk on your records?
Absolutely not, because we won most games in 3 sets. So
And no, actually, we can take that back a little further, because when you played to 15 and didn't
no
have
rally scoring.
no rally scoring, those games could go on for 4 hours.
Sure. I'm just saying that.
So we have the rally scoring era. We have the era that I played in when we played to 30. Then we've got the COVID era, and I'm sorry, playing to 30 points in a set does not make up an extra year.
And the side out era.
And the side out era, but so I was like kind of joking, but like when you win in 3 and you never go like 5, that also makes a huge difference. I think it's unfair. I think there definitely has to be
I think there's only a handful of cases where this actually matters. Dana Recchi
But
going
it's
5
good
times.
to like
fair.
talk about it.
Yeah, it's fair, but in the grand scheme of things, you still know.
It's obviously not fair. Let's face facts.
Question 3. Could you elaborate on what hitting angles actually means? Also, what does it mean to hit outside of your body, and why is that a good tool? So this person, when they submitted this question, they were like, when you say hitting angles, I thought it meant like hitting cross court and hitting line. When I talk about hitting angles, I tend to refer to it as hitting inside the attack line. Like really going for a sharp cross court angle. That's what I refer to it as, because you don't see that happen much anymore. So that's what it means. And like when I say to hit outside your body, you see a lot of players, like they hit wherever their shoulders are facing when they're hitting. That is the direction the ball goes. When I say hit outside your body, it means the ball is traveling in away from where the shoulders are pointing. And to do that, you use your wrist to hit the side of the ball, to drag the ball away from the defender. And because defenders tend to line up around the block, and then they line up where the hitter's shoulders are facing. So if you're using your wrist to hit the side of the ball to get a little bit of spin away, it makes it much more difficult to read defensively and to dig, even if you do get a hand on it, because it has that movement. So that's what I mean by
Like
that.
when we talk about this with young kids, because like I mentioned, I'm a club coach, we talk to kids often about watch your hitter. This hitter's a body line hitter, meaning wherever she's coming in on that angle, that's where the ball's going to go. So move yourself behind her shoulders. But then you get the hitter that'll be there and they'll snap it one way or the other with their wrist. And now you got to be a little more elite of a player to dig that ball.
Well, and this is kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Lexi, right? Players are doing this more at the international level than they are at the collegiate level, and she's just trying to figure out what's possible, dialing into different hitters.
Question 4. If you were coaching against the Italian women's national team, what would your strategy be to beat them?
Boo.
That's a really good question. One thing I'd definitely do is make sure, if I could, because the liberos are so active, is try to get Igano to play that first ball. That's one thing I would definitely try to make happen.
That was my initial idea, to serve short, to try to get the right side to come in and pass a short ball, or to create a conflict zone for the middle to take away their approach angle. When Italy has 3 or 4 options, you are not going to stop them. So you need to try to hinder or take away at least one of them. And I think the way to do that, because Italy's passing is so good, is to serve short, to try to draw one of the front row attackers to pass.
Yeah, you can also serve across middle zones to try and jam up their approaches so that it's a little more uncomfortable to set them. I mean, offensively, their weakness is their left sides. You want you want them to set their left sides as much as possible, and that gives you the best chance to beat them. Serving and strategically putting the ball like to Iganu, like those would be the things that you're trying to get at.
But as you watch these games, just focus on what liberos and how active they are. It's pretty amazing how much ground they will cover to get a ball.
Yeah.
And that's the mark of a good libero is like when your passers that you're passing with know that if the ball is anywhere in your zone, you're taking it. Like that is the mark of a good libero. But Italy is so good that they always make adjustments and they come back. But like, so you need to be able to counter that. But to start, the serving strategy is what I would go with. All right, our last question of the week is, how much do you think Brazil's lack of great opposites impacts them? Rosa Maria has gotten a lot of hate from Brazilian fans in VNL, but I don't think it's her fault that Brazil doesn't have anyone better, especially with such bad setting in the final. Plus, Ana Cristina's injured, and they've really lacked aggression from the outsides.
I mean,
they don't have a Shayla like they have in the past.
Not having a really good opposite is debilitating. It's a safety blanket for teams. Hey, if we screw this up, we've got a decent chance at scoring the point. Even massive for just team mentality about how you go about things. Not having an opposite at that level to be the best in the world, that's a problem.
Not that Rosa Maria is bad.
But she's just...
But like, I always saw her more as a left side. But like compared to the left sides that Brazil currently has, she's just not
She's the L3.
4 at this point with Ana Cristina's back.
If you were to line Brazil up against the other top international teams and rank them purely on what they can put on the opposite side, they're 7, 8.
Well, I mean, Italy.
It's not
Turkey,
a coincidence.
Serbia, Canada,
Sweden.
Sweden.
You've nailed it right on the head. It's not a coincidence that the so-called greatest players in the world are mostly right sides. There's a reason. You got a lot of pressure on you. Mm-hmm. You have to score. It's not...
When everybody knows that you're getting the ball, you need to score.
You need to score.
Yes, I think that's the reason they're not going to beat the top teams. And when they lose, it's because they lack somebody at that position who can get them out of a jam.
Because they keep coming second. They're medaling. They're coming second. They are there. They're in the conversation. Let's rewind to when they won gold in London. Shayla was one of the top opposites in the world. Since she has retired...
You don't need to be the best, but you need to be in the top 5.
Yeah. Honestly, again, it's not Rosa Maria or anybody's fault that they haven't been developed. Like, Rosa Maria was developed as a left side, as a young athlete. It's like with the U.S. The U.S. is in the same position. They need somebody who can score out of system, and it's not happening. Brazil is lucky that their left sides and middles are so good.
It says a lot for that individual or those individuals that everything's breaking down and everybody in the gym knows where the ball's going, and you still have to score. Not a lot of people have the mentality to deal with that.
This is always my favorite segment, you guys. I love getting your questions. I love reading them. I love thinking about them. I love answering them. So keep them coming. These were really good ones this week. So thank you so much to everybody who wrote us and sent them in.
All right, so we pulled a few matches for you. I mean, obviously, World Champs is going on, so all of those matches are going to be...
That takes priority.
Yeah,
just watch all of those.
Quarters, semis, finals. The volleyball is going to be good. We're coming down to crunch time. Who's going to step up? Who's not? Will Brazil find an opposite in 3 days? We'll see, and we'll figure that out when it comes. And if we're looking into the NCAA, here are the matches that I'm going to watch this week. One, we have Kansas versus Purdue. That's a 14-15. I like that. I think Kansas has been playing well. I'm curious, ranking-wise, it's close in the standings. Purdue was decimated by the transfer portal. What do they have? Are they going to sink in the ranking? So that one has some interesting implications, so I'm looking forward to watching that one. So that match is Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We also have Kentucky, who's currently number 7 but should be higher. Penn State, number 2, probably going to drop. And that's going to be Friday as well at 8 o'clock Eastern. So you can watch those games back to back.
That one I want to watch.
Finally, Stanford, number 6, Texas, number 5 are playing on Sunday. That time was TBD. I'm sure they'll post that online, but it's going to be on Sunday. I think that's going to be a fantastic game. So a couple things to put on your calendar. If you got a little time to watch some volleyball, those would be the ones I'm looking at.
That concludes this week's episode of Volley Talk. There's always something shaking in the volleyball world, and we hope you enjoyed this little fix. Be sure to follow the show so you don't miss any updates, and we'd be so grateful if you'd leave us a 5-star review. Huge shout out to my dad for stepping in and helping us this week, offering his opinions as I was taking care of a baby. Maybe we'll have to have some more guests. We'd like to hear your thoughts on that. You can find us on Instagram at volleytalk_podcast. If you have a topic you'd like us to discuss, be sure to let us know by reaching out to us on Instagram or at info@sarahpavin.com. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you.